Episode 77. So Martin tells Vernon he thinks the guy who said the phrase from the night in question, "Let me see what color your money is." Well, he thinks that he's still in Fairmount because Vernon told him that the guy was paid off. And so Martin is like, nope, I think he's still here. Next, Jacob tells Detective Malone he ain't nothing but a bunch of talk, and that basically Jacob letting him know he doesn't respect him and that he feels like he's shady. And I'm saying this, but I mean, that's the way Jacob handles Detective Malone. He doesn't show him respect. I think because Detective Malone has this reputation as being a shady detective. Next, Haley tells Bill the life insurance agent called needing to get additional information on the life insurance policy he took out. And so she wants to know, is there something about his health that he's not telling her? And that she's worried that he's not divulging his whole health his information with her. And what is it? Next, Martin tells Vernon he confronted Kenny the waiter, and he says he doesn't believe that he didn't have anything to do with the night in question. And Vernon says he could talk to his manager about reassigning him to the kitchen. And Vernon also tells Martin they need to find out what kind of game Kenny is playing. And he says they will ask Kenny what he's trying to accomplish. Next, Detective Malone tells Jacob's dad, who's the chief of police, how did Smitty know about his case regarding one of Joey's men. And Jacob's dad, the chief, says someone must have tipped him off. And Detective Malone says if he goes down, everything's going boom. So I guess he said he taking everybody with him. And the chief says maybe Smitty is just speculating. And I'm just wondering, what is Jacob going to do when he realizes how dirty his dad is? Next, Smitty is going through Detective Malone's financial records with Tyrell, and Detective Malone has been receiving cash payments and bought a house with the payments. And Smitty tells Tyrell something's off. And see, Smitty is digging too deep, and he's finding out a lot. And this ain't going to be good. Not at all. Next, Vernon calls Kenny to his and Martin's table, and Martin gets a flashback of that night in question. And in the flashback, we see Detective Malone and Jacob's dad, the chief of police. So them two is in it together. I knew it. Next, Chelsea goes to Bill regarding the copyright infringement lawsuit. And she's going to Bill now to help her. Like before, I don't want to have nothing to do with him. But now she needs somebody. And she's there to ask for help. Isn't that something? Next, Kat asks Tomas, can she hire a private firm to test Leslie's DNA? And here we go again. Kat don't learn. Why is she going to this man about something the police should be doing? And if I was Tomas, I would tell her to call when she want to spend some actual time with me. And so Tomas tells her if she interrupts the chain of custody, the results will be inadmissible in court. Black Nancy Drew. See, that's why I said she needs to get some business or go get some proper training because you don't know what you're doing. So Tomas tells the amateur detective to wait like everybody else, and then they start to kiss. Which, that's what they should be doing instead of talking about this case that Black Nancy Drew have no business involved in. Next, Vernon tells Kenny he looks familiar and has he seen them before. And Kenny claims he haven't seen them outside of the country club. And then he leaves and Vernon says, yeah, that's him. And Martin says, yeah, I know, that's him. Next, Bill tells Chelsea that the company suing her is trying to scare her, and he doubts if they have any evidence. And so Haley goes on to say Naomi was more than capable in assisting Chelsea with her case, so why is Chelsea really there? And Chelsea says, everyone knows when you need a lawyer to get down in the dirt, you can call Bill Hamilton. See, and that's what I'm talking about. You've been treating your daddy like crap, and then when you need him, here you go. And Bill, in so many words, in so many ways, he goes on to let her know, like, you need to come around more, and just come around when, to be my daughter, not just when you need something. So I was glad that he told her that, because I think that's dirty. Next, Kat and Tomas are making out, and Tomas goes to unbutton Kat's shirt, and she pulls back. She tells him she's not ready yet. And Tomas asks her, is there something she's waiting on? And if it is, then she needs to be clear and let him know what it is. Because, Tomas is being a perfect gentleman. But after a while, if she keeps on saying that she's not ready, and I know, no, she shouldn't be pressured into having sex. I get that. But if she's not ready and she doesn't see a foreseeable future in being intimate with Tomas, then let the man know so that he can make the decision on whether he wants to stay or not. Kat tells Tomas that she's scared because she's seen her parents and her aunt marriages explode, and she doesn't want to give herself to someone who could break her heart. And newsflash, Kat, that's the gamble you take when you fall in love. There's never going to be a perfect situation. Anytime you fall in love, you're taking a gamble. You're taking a gamble and you're giving that person your heart and hoping that they don't break it. There's no such thing as a fairy tale marriage or relationship. And I really think she needs to grow up and understand that. Next, Vernon asks Martin, what does he think Kenny wants and why now? And Martin says he's definitely there to get something from him. And they just have to find out what it is. And that's the $1 million question. What is it? Next, Smitty shows Tyrell a $500,000 deposit that went into Detective Malone's account 2 years ago. And Smitty says that he has to find out where the deposit came from. And that is interesting. I want to say Joey, but I don't know. Maybe Vernon paid Detective Malone off so that he could keep the night in question quiet, because the chief and Detective Malone was there. So it makes me think Vernon had to do something like that, pay them off to keep quiet, because why didn't they report the incident? And it's obvious that they didn't, because nothing happened. Next, Jacob's dad, the chief, tells Detective Malone they need to make it clear to Smitty that it's in everybody's interest if he leaves this story alone. And see, that's what makes me think that Vernon did pay the chief and Detective Malone off, because they're saying it's in everybody's interest. So they're including Smitty into this situation, and that's because of Martin and the Duprees. Next, Vernon's on the phone and he's telling someone this wasn't supposed to happen, and he wants assurances that it's going to be taken care of. And it makes me wonder who he's talking to. I think he's talking to the chief. I truly do. But it'll be interesting to find out. Next, Martin goes back to the table to get the keys he left, and the keys are gone, and he hallucinates that Kenny is in the back of him holding the keys. And when he looks up from searching the floor, no one's there. Okay, so things is heating up in this whole Martin flashback storyline, and I can't wait to find out more. And that ends the episode.